You are listening to Tales from the Vale, hosted by local pizza proprietor Tony Mitchell
and Lee Gilligan, peripatetic wine industry veteran. A podcast where we have conversations with wine industry personalities,
passionate foodies,
business identities,
and community leaders who live, work and play in and around McLaren Vale
and the Fleurieu Peninsula.
Tales from the Vale.
Hey Lee, how you going?
G'day Tony. Here we are, Willunga Farmers Market.
The WFM with the TFTV from the Triple F, which is the Willunga Farmers Market. Tales from the Vale podcast, Fleurieu Food Festival 2024. Eat your heart out.
All good.
What an honour to be invited along to do our first live, live recording. It's not a live stream. We're not there yet.
No.
But
it'll be a live recording.
It is a live recording, absolutely. And alive it is. And we've got a few guests today, which is going to be exciting. You want to take us through it, Lee?
We've got three guests. The first one is Nick Hutchinson from Fleurieu Milk Co. He's the general manager. So I'll be talking to him about a privately owned company owned by three families who have banded together to take on the big boys in the milk industry. The second guest is Catriona Byrne from Feather Peck. Feather Peck are egg producers, and they have a number of local people supplying them. So that'll be good. And the last guest is Todd Steele from Steele Catering.
Who, from previous conversation on Instagram Reel, you said used to be your neighbour.
He did. He was my neighbour when I lived on Rifle Range.
A bit of neighbourly love there.
Yep. So Todd's very involved in the food industry, being a chef for many years. He's had his own business for 13 odd years, and he's heavily involved in the Fleurieu Food Festival this month. So I'll be talking to him. So,
and I guess we've got to go through and look at a bit of the calendar as well. For those who are not familiar with the Fleurieu Food Festival, I might give it a bit of a background. So it encompasses the whole region, and what I understand is there's multiple events at different venues.
Yes.
Plus some sort of centralised thing happening.
There's a whole lot of different events, ranging from truffle hunt tours to Feather Peck have a farm walking tour. There's Fiano and Fondue Fusion, which sounds interesting. I love fondue.
Fondue. Fondant. Fondue is a very 70s thing, right? It was pretty big then.
It is, and
I've never experienced fondue.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to get involved.
Well, Pip Forrester does a wonderful cheese fondue.
One of our previous guests, and quite connected to the Willunga Farmers Market where we are.
Yes. She used to be the chair of the market for a number of years until she retired. But she's up in Noosa at the moment.
Oh, sunny Noosa.
Getting some sunshine.
Lovely. Well, it's pretty sunny out here.
It's a beautiful day. Fantastic.
It was 8 degrees on the way up in the Discovery temp gauge. But it's well and truly heated up, and I've taken the old dad fleece off, and now currently residing in a denim shirt. So we are
almost ready to go with...
have a few curious people just looking from afar at what's going on.
What the hell is happening?
Might be a good time, if they are gazing, just to gaze at our brand new banner. That I would like to just give a quick shout out to Sign Boys in McLaren Vale, Colin and the team. From what I understand, you've worked with them for many years.
I have.
I certainly have.
Yes.
It's a bit of a sign of the times, obviously, that his
that's a terrible
his business is flourishing and doing really well. But so if you do need any A-frames, light boxes, neons, magnetics, or odd podcast banners,
he can do it all.
Go see Sign Boys in McLaren Vale. They've done a lot of the One Sneaky Cheetah stuff as well as Pete's Deck, so they're going all around the city. They're not just in the Fleurieu.
No. He's a good lad, Colin.
He is, yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Sign Boys, and it's good to give it a first little hangout here at where are we? The Learning Support Building.
At the Willunga Farmers Market.
There we go, the WFM for the Triple F TFTV.
I think this is very appropriate with the Learning Support Building.
Just learning how to broadcast. Do we have a lingering guest, potentially, if you just cast your eyes over that way?
Could be.
I know, even a swivel chair.
I can't
Lee.
turn around. I can't get
Did you want to go and get involved? We have Nick from Fleurieu Milk. I see your stand is just adjacent here. How long have you guys been involved in the Willunga Farmers Market?
Yeah, so we've been here 18 years now, so
wow.
3 dairy farmers started Fleurieu Milk 18 years ago, and this would have been one of the very first places they set up. So, been with us from the start, and to be honest, we can credit them for a lot of our success.
I see a lot of the flavoured milks as well. On top of people, when I came in, someone was like, "Can I get 2 litres of lactose-free this and that?" So you get a lot of specialised milk customers and stuff coming here and frequenting it.
Yeah, it's funny in the milk game. I mean, everyone talks about, well, over the years, milk's been milk, but it's starting to differentiate a bit, and the lactose-free trend is coming in more and more. No added sugar's definitely in at the moment. Healthier options, so that's our quickest growing product.
No added sugar?
No added sugar iced coffees,
in
iced coffee, yeah. So obviously there's no sugar added to the white milk. No sugar added to the white milk, but in the iced coffee, a few of our competitors have fairly sweet taste to them, so they're enjoying something different.
It's a really beautiful milk, obviously. A lot of people in the area support it. We support it in Geliteca uses Fleurieu milk.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you got a pretty good sales rep out there, actually. I see him in the cafe sometimes.
Who looks after you?
I only know his Instagram handle.
That would be Simon. He's the Instagram
the milk guys are like that? Yeah.
Simon Phillips.
Yeah, he's
a
great
man.
Really nice guy.
You've basically got a football team up there, haven't you?
We do.
I mean, ex-footballers.
Jeff and Barry that own Fleurieu Milk, they're avid country footballers.
Right.
Baz holds the record in Australia for most country football games played A grade, so incredible record. But then we do have some fairly high-profile guys.
Tony Modra and
Tony,
Kim Costa.
Tony played.
Godra.
Everyone knows the Godra, and then Clay Sampson looks after our sales and marketing team. He played in the 97 flag for the Crows, and Simon actually played. He got drafted to Sydney. And then traded back to Port Power, and played in 3 flags at Norwood after that too. So
you've just
fairly
totally
handy.
set up my small talk next time I see you in the cafe.
There's some fairly handy footballers getting around.
That's awesome. I mean, like for such a small family run is how it started. Cottage business, I guess. It's really, I mean, you guys have got some shelf space now. You know, it's pretty good to see to come down from this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the business is great. We've got 105 staff with us now, but at the same time, we're competing in an industry that's dominant. Our biggest competitors here in South Australia are global companies, and they have 80,000 employees. So we're up against it still, but we hold our own. And the South Australian public are unbelievable the way they support local businesses.
What do you say?
Who'd be your biggest customer in South Australia, if you don't mind telling us?
Biggest individual customer?
Yeah.
From a retail level, Adelaide Fresh Fruiterers at Vale are incredible.
Okay.
And then there's some stores at Pasadena, Frueville, Norwood do extremely well.
Pasadena, the foodland there?
Pasadena Foodland,
That's a wonderful supermarket, and so is the Frueville one.
I mean, we've had to grow over the years to evolve. We do supply in Coles and Woolworths and some of those majors now, but our biggest are still the independents.
That's
and the
fantastic.
ones we work closer with, so... Places like this are perfect. We've got a stall in the central markets that's very popular.
We've seen that in there quite a bit.
We need those bigger guys just for volume and to be able to survive realistically.
Sure.
But the independents and farmers markets are bread and butter.
Well, it's never a case, to support local. That is it. I mean, even in South Australia as a whole, in the supermarket industry, we're quite blessed with a few independent operators that have multiple stores now, but that can go up against the 2 big ones. And obviously are more lenient to stocking and giving you guys, I would assume, more shelf space and more exposure for your brand.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I talk to a lot of people around Australia in similar industries, and they're so jealous of South Australia, the way our independent market, Drake's, Foodland, IGA, have such a market share in here, South Australia, and it doesn't exist in other states. So
they're just better supermarkets. Nothing against the C down here in McLaren Vale, but they're just nicer.
Why wouldn't you go to a Foodland at Pasadena? It's got everything.
Exactly.
Every major brand, every minor brand. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you go into Coles across the road down there and we've got 3 products in the store. You go into Pasadena and we've got over 40 different products for you. So.
Can I ask you, obviously milk and wholesale to cafes and supermarkets for consumer people to buy milk for their home. But how about into the cheese making? It's something I'm really interested in. Do you guys supply or get milk to any cheese companies that use it, or is it more direct from the dairies?
Yeah, it depends on the size of the company. So there's a couple of really big cheese makers in South Australia, La Casa del Formaggio.
Absolutely, Claude.
They'll go, Claude's a great man. They go direct to farm, same as us.
Yep.
Then there's some smaller scale cheesemakers around that do buy milk, usually in say 1,000 litre palicon.
Because that's what's really interesting about it. Because obviously with dairy, there's contract based, and you've got to commit to a volume from what I've learnt, and it's kind of hard for like the smaller cottage cheesemakers.
Correct.
In the most recent years to secure that milk because. Bigger players can come and I need this much, and it's really hard to.
That's right. So there's some good examples even in our area. Look, Second Valley Cheese started up down there. They would buy 10 litre bladders off us and make really boutique, homemade or not homemade, but high quality boutique cheese. But they didn't have the scale to go direct to farm, which does make it hard. For farmers, they need scale, so they're producing millions of litres.
Absolutely, that's it, and that comes down to the litre price of milk, and it's a big thing.
It is, and it's hard. Like there's some, like we said, there's some big competitors in the industry. So even La Casa, good example, they're buying a lot of milk now and doing really good things. But there's some big global cheese companies around.
It's amazing, the facility. Tim and I went down and visited. And had a bit of a walk through there, and it's just incredible what they've done down there at Edinburgh.
Yeah, a few of our team, I actually didn't get there, but a few of our team had a tour not long ago, and they said it was incredible.
They've got that like 24/7 milk delivery thing all on fobs, so the trucks can come in unmanned at any point, pump their milk in, puts the whey back into the truck. I think that's what they do. They take the whey byproduct out, and then that goes into pig feed and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
So it's getting a full circle thing, which is great. But back to the Fleurieu.
Yep.
I think which is where Lee wanted to go. He's looking at me.
No. I was just going to say, what's the thing that you've got now where you can actually take your glass bottle and get them filled?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we're always looking for ways to differentiate ourselves from the big guys. We've always wanted to bring the glass bottle back, how it used to be. We hear so many nostalgic stories about the way milk used to be and the home deliveries and so on and so forth. But there's you have to be careful these days of glass in production and reusable, and it, absolutely fair enough. Food can be dangerous, and you've got to make sure you tick those boxes. So we finally found a way to do it where we could put our product into our milk into 18 litre kegs and take the keg out to the store. And then the consumer could own that glass bottle and take it back and refill it. So the glass bottle's circular, the consumer brings that back, and we're rotating the keg. So
I think the service station in Willunga.
Yeah, they've got one in. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's amazing, to be honest. The keg we thought would go well. The growth in it's been astronomical and quickly. It's got Adelaide Oval contract come on board purely around meeting their sustainability model in the keg. Adelaide Zoo, we're having some good conversation with some other big landmarks in South Australia. So, and it's purely just to meet their sustainability goals, and it ties in so well. So what it's done for us is taken the conversation away from price, and we've been able to value add in a different way, which is great.
Because that's the hardest thing in the milk industry, isn't it? Price. It's all. Supermarkets have been criticised for years.
Yeah, it's a tough one
about driving the price down.
Lee, it's the price of mozzarella too. that's what I've been researching, and through research and realising that. Your raw product, even to get 1 kilo of curd to make mozzarella, which will give you a yield of 1.2 kilos of mozzarella finished. Yes. So you need 1 kilo of curd. You need 10 litres of milk.
Yes.
So if you've got a gate price already at 85, 87 cents, whatever it is, you could probably correct me, you're already at $8.70 and you haven't even made the curd.
Yeah.
So when we turn around and go, why is our mozzarella $16.90, $17.90 a kilo?
That's why.
Huge.
Exactly. That gate price you're talking about too, you haven't even picked the milk up from the farm yet. You've still got to get it back to your farm through the process.
Exactly. And then, that really comes down to that litre price and that squeeze down from we're doing a litre milk for this much. And that's where you've really got to turn around and go, we're going to support local. And if you can, there's a household, costing, household expenses are so high at the moment. So I can understand not everyone can make that choice. But if you can, by all means, support the independents and the smaller guys.
You're spot on. We're very aware of that at the moment, and we're seeing it not just in the retail space, consumer, but from a hospitality perspective as well. There's a lot of cafes out there that are, it's tough. So we don't want to just continually be passing on price rises. We're aware that we have to do everything we can to keep our product affordable, but at the same time make enough money to be able to pay our farmers what they deserve.
And employ all the people. That's right.
Yeah, wages.
You just got to hold the line.
It's a good balancing act.
So what's your background, Nick, before
Fleurieu Milk? So I grew up on a dairy farm, so I had good dairy background. My dad was a dairy farmer up the top of Maponga. I did my fair share of days on the farm, but I always knew it wasn't going to be for me. So I just went to school right here, Willunga High School.
A success story.
Some great teachers here. Good.
Would you
good
ever
base
thought that you'd
education.
be broadcasting live back of that they'd invite you back?
I'm trying to work out what room I'm sitting in here. The old.
Hopefully you won't hear too much. This is the learning support centre.
Exactly. I don't think this was here when I was here, to be honest. Yeah. But I then went on to Flinders Uni, did a Bachelor of Business, and then went straight into my MBA. And to be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to do at that point. I was chasing a few graduate positions interstate, and I just to be honest, I happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
12 and a half years ago, Fleurieu Milk had 3 or 4 staff, and I started getting involved and trying a bit of sales work on the side of my uni, and it's just grown from there. So I'm incredibly lucky to be where I am today, and it's just the right place, right time.
Fantastic.
I think that's a really good story as well. Just to see, you can go from there like 10, 12 years ago as 3 employees up to what you just previously discussed then. That's what probably, the festival's all about. Is it's about growth and about support and and putting on the map. But you guys, that name is out there. That Fleurieu word, if there's anything, as a badge, is seen everywhere because of you guys, in a lot more places than would otherwise. So even though people might not be able to spell it, at least they could see it and say. I actually was.
I have problems with Tony trying to spell Fleurieu.
What were we writing the other day? I think we were writing the interview list. So I was like, "How do you do this, Fleurieu?"
I very frequently have to spell that out for my email address. Do you have an email address? Yeah, don't. I'll just spell it for you.
That's the worst. I got the same thing with Pizza Tech, and I was telling her like, "Pizza Tech." I'm like, "No, TCA."
So, Nick, what do you think of the advantages of this region? I mean, our whole podcast is about promoting McLaren Vale, Fleurieu Peninsula. What do you think of the, major advantages or disadvantages even?
The area we are in is unbelievable. Let's be honest. I have a look out there today. Even we don't get green grass, blue skies like this every day. But the vineyards, the ocean, the beach, just everything around the Fleurieu just spells quality. And it just, as soon as you put your name. It's almost like seafood from the Eyre Peninsula. Anything from here just is quality, whether it's the wine, the meat, the milk. So we're so lucky to be able to just put that to our name. And then for us, the biggest advantage is we're close to the CBD and the road. We're getting closer and closer with the road. So we have a lot of trucks on the road, but we're very close. So if we were trying to do what we're doing from the Eyre Peninsula or the York Peninsula, it'd be very difficult.
Sure.
So the proximity to the CBD to unbelievable restaurants and retail stores for us is a big win.
And I guess that that South Road upgrade's only helping you get closer to the central market.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we deliver direct to over 1,300 customers now. So to be able to do that, but still be based in Moponga on the farm is something you probably couldn't do in a lot of places.
So it's all your own vehicles, own trucks?
Yeah, we control the whole supply chain now from the farm right through. So
that's great.
Our own raw milk pickup trucks from the farm, and basically we can, traceability-wise, trace the product from the farm right through to when we drop it off at the store.
It's such a huge factor when dealing with dairy and milk as well, isn't it?
It's huge, yeah. Quality.
How much does the technology, just real quickly, I know we're going to wrap up in a second, but how much does the technology help with that? With tagging and truck tagging and tracing back if something goes awry? It's
how much does the technology help? Incredible amounts to be able to pinpoint exactly where in your supply chain. Things go wrong with milk. Usually temperature based, but it could be cell counts, bacteria counts at the farm level. It could be a truck temperature. It could be somebody that's not handled it properly at store level. So to be able to trace exactly where that is and fix it quickly before it blows out of control and grows is huge.
And that's Dairy Safe? Are they the people that govern and look after that?
It's Dairy Safe, our auditing body, correct? Yep. If you're export accredited, you then go on to Department of Ag at a federal level. But Dairy Safe look after us here locally.
Are you exporting anything?
Not at the moment. We did. We'd just got our toe in the water pre-COVID. We had milk going into Singapore, and we had yogurt going into at one point there, and it wasn't big volumes, but Hong Kong, Japan were the first ones to put yogurt out of Australia and Japan for 10 years.
Wow.
Which was exciting, but then COVID hit, planes hit the ground. We couldn't put anything on sea freight, just purely because of shelf life. So once those planes got grounded, it was tools down on export-wise for 12, 24 months, and we just haven't gone back to it. The margins are it's a lot of hard work for small margin in what we're doing.
Imagine, especially if you're doing everything by air.
Yeah.
You know, you're not chucking a container, as you know, Lee, from your past experience. Chucking containers of wine over, it's a bit of a slower game.
It's one of those things that, I mean, it sounded great and there's huge opportunities and whatever else, but at the end of the day, our bread and butter's here in South Australia, and that's where our brand's at strongest, and that's where the opportunities keep coming.
Well, you can see it, and you can see that's where you're concentrating on your energy, because it's pretty awesome to see. So, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah. No worries at all.
What
Thanks
are you
for
going to be
having
doing
me.
for the rest of the Fleurieu Food Festival? Any highlights for you?
Mate, for me, I just love getting around to all the local restaurants. I live in McLaren Flat, so 10 minutes down the road here, and I'm just surrounded by some of the best restaurants in the world, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So I love not just the festival time, but all times of the year, mate. Enjoy
it's all year round.
It is.
It is.
Brilliant.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Nick.
We'll let you get back to your stand.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take a short break.
Tales from the Vale.
All right, we're on, back from the break that we inserted, which will just be another little grab of Tales from the Vale. We're back at the WFM for the Triple F for TFTV, which is the longest farmers market for Tales from the Vale, Fleurieu Food Festival 2004. Our next guest is walking up now. Lee.
Todd Steele.
Take it away. Welcome.
Thanks for having us, boys.
All right, get in nice and close to the microphone.
We'll pull it back
You're
towards
just
you.
quite a tall man, so you might need to
Lift it up
you
a bit.
can get comfortable, mate. We're going to be here for about 3 hours, so
Beautiful.
hope you cleared your schedule.
Make myself at home.
Just going to put that up a little bit again, just a bit closer to you. There we go, perfect. Can you pass me one of those brochures while I'm at it? Thank you. Fleurieu Food Festival, August 2024.
Tony's doing his research now. You've given him a brochure.
He's been a busy boy, I understand.
Well, he has. He's been
Okay.
very busy.
You guys used to be neighbours.
We were.
Grew up Rifle Range Road. I probably spent far too much time in the creek behind Lee's joint with
Yes.
his kids when we were young. So
Yes.
walked to the school bus together, sort of stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, haven't gone too far, have I?
No.
Why would you? It's probably the topic of
Well,
today.
another Willunga boy, like Nick, our previous guest.
High school.
Willunga High, yeah, maybe didn't quite get the whole education done, but hospitality was apparently calling, and that seemed like a good idea at the time.
So how'd you get involved in the hospitality game? What'd you do when you left school?
My older brother was a chef, so I think my physics teacher, year 10 here, I thought I was a funny young man, but
physics is not your game, Todd.
yeah, he probably thought I was due to do something else, and probably encouraged me that schooling wasn't for me at the time. So hospitality, already washing dishes in the industry with my brother, and then thought it was a good little, easy way to get out of school and keep mum happy, and it was good fun.
So a bit of a prequel to it with an intro. You're a chef, acclaimed chef, and now you run your own catering side of things. Like, give us a bit of background on what you're doing now, just for the listeners.
Had a catering business for the last 13 years, Chef Steele, McLaren Vale, sort of look after a lot of the wineries that don't have kitchens.
Yep.
Sort of can go in and out the back of the high ace van do 200.
So that's the thing with wine people, they don't want to do food, do they? They know how much hard work's involved.
A lot don't.
Well, once people work out how hard it is to make $1, and then it's probably, so, but wineries and events, weddings and events is pretty
Well, it's a good
that's what
spot
I
for
do.
that. Obviously, there's a lot of that going on. A lot of people come down here to choose to celebrate their, momentous occasions. So there's plenty of that set up for you.
Oh, why wouldn't you? It's a gorgeous region, isn't it?
It is, man. So you were like most. I'd wash dishes at some point, and that was my first foray into the kitchen, like yourself. And you sort of get that sort of glimpse into.
Aren't you still washing them?
Yes, I'm out. That's where I'd choose to be if I could. I really would.
End of the night, I happily do 45 minutes just to
Put your headphones
clean,
on.
nothing to think about, get the job done.
It's the escapism.
Yep.
It's either that or the wood-fired oven because you don't deal with everyone else. But it sort of gives you that first. I don't know for you, but does it give you that first sort of foray into like that sort of, team, squadron, pirate ship mentality where it's like things go crazy and there's nothing you can do but work your way out of it?
Yeah, and I've played a fair bit of sport. So between hospitality, kitchen teams, 40 teams, it's coaching-wise, it's the same way I sort of run my business. It's got to be team. We all got to help each other. So if it means I'm sort of elbows deep in a sink, that's just what we've got to do to get the job done.
Love it.
How long have you been coming to the market?
Probably since it started down the street, it was gorgeous little space down the street. I think we've certainly outgrown it. I think there's a few locals that would probably scream to get it back down the road, but here you've got space and you can move.
You don't have the traffic problem of cars whizzing up.
Exactly. You're seeing that now as well. It's so lovely. You're seeing the kids running around the lawn and them sort of marinating around prams. It probably feels a bit safer as well for a lot of families, I'd say.
Well, I'm shocked that no one got hit by a car crossing that road sort of thing between the two markets. So, at the high school, it's stunning here. You have plenty of room. It's good. It's a social outing for me now sort of thing. Usually, depending on what events I've got on a Saturday in summer, I might be a bit zoom in and out. But,
so do you come here and shop for functions and something?
Well, it's also relationships with growers and those sort of things, so it's an easy pick-up on a Saturday morning if I'm here at 10 to 8 and get in and out before everyone else, and I might have an order already to pick up and then, duck in and duck out. But when I haven't got any events on today, I'll meander around and talk shit for an hour and have a toasty over with Jim and a coffee from over at Rob, and it's a nice little start to my day.
Absolutely, it's very much a community hub. And like you were saying, we chat really briefly off air, and you're saying that this is kind of like your off season, so you can sort of meander around. Obviously, your work being events based, it's more summer heavy. Is that your season?
September through till May. It's pretty hectic.
Like wedding season, so to speak.
Yeah. So there's multiple events every weekend, and but this time of the year I'm pretty cruisy. So this week I had a wedding tasting at Lloyd's, sort of for, I think it was 18 couples, 50 odd sort of guests on Thursday night, which was nice. And,
they clam in?
Yeah, just do it once, come in, do a tasting, introduce myself.
That's great.
And then I'll catch up with them or email them.
That's a really good tip.
Next few weeks, and yes, your event space is starting to look massive. So,
it's getting there. It's just a big hole at the moment, which will get filled in, so let's not go there. Let's concentrate on you today.
Let's not go there.
No, let's go there.
I like your little reels. I think they're
Thank
very
you.
informative.
Just trying to keep it real. Yeah. No, look, it's. I think it's important to share what you're doing. I think it's a good thing, and and also maybe to just sort of squash any concerns or worries by anyone thinking like, changing a hill or doing something like that. So if you can keep people informed, I think it's a good thing. Information is good for everyone.
Absolutely.
Well, what's happening with the festival, the Fleurieu Food Festival, this month?
Busy month. Fleurieu Food Board, Volunteer Board, our food group down this way on Fleurieu, put together there's about 60 events in there, so it's pretty much just to create a bit of tourism. This time of year, it's a stunning time of the year to get down to the Fleurieu, and yes, while most of the hospitality businesses are probably the quietest month of the year, so just try to encourage that sort of and do a few events and get people talking about the Fleurieu rather than just
what events are you actively involved in the events?
I've got a couple to do. I've got a Almond Grove sort of lunch out with Mel Hollick out at Peninsula Providore.
Okay.
Sort of doing a lot of olive oil based products. I'm trying to get some fresh truffles out of my ponga, and we'll do something with that, like a celeriac soup around the fire sort of thing to start.
Ooh, fantastic.
And then maybe some charcoal lamb over the fire and olive oil cake, or plenty of breads and oils. And
you're still doing the porchetta at
Oliver's Taranga have been
they're famous.
Long time supporter, so I think we've probably done those probably 10 years now, and it's a sort of a good fun Sunday every eight weeks or so, and go in, and they're a beautiful family and pretty relaxed at the best of times, and good food, good booze. It's not a bad day.
We've interviewed
Karina. That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at
one of the
Fiano.
early ones.
I keep on looking at that Fiano fondue again. When I see Karina, I think of Fiano.
He's never had a fondue. And I said, you don't know what you're missing. Fondues are fantastic.
Oh, I might have some sort of melting. Define fondue.
Melted cheese.
Yeah, I've had melted cheese before. Yeah, but you think of the 70s, like chocolate fountain.
Drowned in some white wine.
So there's those sort of these key parties that probably happen down with the fondue. I don't know if I really want to go down that route.
Did we learn anything from COVID? That's all I think of when fondue sort of is popped up. But
how did COVID affect you? I mean, obviously it was devastating for a lot of businesses.
I probably struggled a little bit mentally. You don't really know how much you do, or your persona is, what I do, and sort of love the industry. But, when you're sort of stopped and couldn't do what I do, it was different. I guess the positives, my three sort of teenage kids, and I won't say my teaching background really got me too far with homeschooling, but the time I had with my teenage kids, that was absolute gold, and the relationships I've got with them now, sort of thing, is amazing. So, but yeah, it was just sort of tough. But then it was probably, weddings and events absolutely were smashed. But then we've had a really positive, I suppose, 12 to 18 months after the fact.
Afterwards, yeah.
It's kind of like everyone was bursting at the seams type of thing to get out of the gate.
Yeah, and then I suppose the backlog of the year that we lost.
Yeah.
To put on top of a year that we already had fully booked. Was just juggling balls, and I don't think I dropped too many, but you got it done. It's probably a bit back to normality now. We've caught up on all that COVID work, and
because you got to imagine, it's not. It wouldn't be a one-man show. I know it's still catering, it's you, but like there's you got employees, you got teams to put these things on, and what do you do with them? Like other than JobKeeper when it's down season. So
I'm lucky, I suppose. I've been in the region a long time and got support from a lot of people, so I can ring Jim Casey at Little Acre and say, can you come and cook with me for a night, and just beg, borrow and steal chefs and wait staff of the region, and make events happen. And
have you got any full-time employees at work?
No, I've sort of cut back a bit since COVID, so don't bother. I do a lot of the prep myself and still email and still do the wages and still do everything because a bit of a one-man band. But, it's sort of... but that's probably my body telling me that I don't need to work as hard as I possibly used to work. So that might
He's
have
looking forward to retirement already.
That might have been a bit too much football as well, but, yeah.
Well, you look like a rock.
Yeah, run around too much. And,
Willunga Football Club.
The dumbest bloke on the field that runs into the other dumbest bloke on the field, and
clashing of titans.
Yes. But holding together okay. But
your knees are still good, huh?
Not too bad. A little bit sloppy.
How are you going with the Maiponga truffles?
Lovely valley, stunning people, gorgeous. Well, I've done probably the last 3 seasons. They've had product. It's still obviously a micro industry here.
I think even the flavour profile of them. I think we spoke to
Amanda Geddes.
No, the Salopian. I can't remember. I just lost my mind.
Carina.
We chatted about Carina about it when we had a podcast with her, and we're talking about the development of the flavour of them compared to the Tassie ones and the other ones, and they do take time. But they're really starting to get through now because I think it was like. It's only been the last 3 or 4 years. I think they've come past, and they usually swing past the restaurant with a little tub, and we're like, bomb on the spot and sort of rummage around, see what cash I got on hand to sort of make it happen. And then we've used it maybe for a weekend or 2, so to just sort of offer it as like a sort of add-on. And it's such a great thing.
On that 4-cheese pizza? On
a 4-cheese, or even on our truffle, like a truffle that we use at Tatufo, a truffle paste from Italy. Sure. But then you can top it with something from Maiponga. And even just being able to say that, whether you're
fresh
loving
truffle.
It or not, from here is such a great thing. And just seeing like the customer's face light up, I wonder how much that ties into what you're doing, like where you speak at when you do a couples dinner at Lloyd's, and you can say, this is from here, this is from here. Does that get a reaction from you? Does Fleurieu mean something to people outside of it?
Absolutely. And, I guess I'm blessed that, the relationships that I've had sort of in the district for 20 odd years that, I'm pretty relaxed at the best of time and talk like that as well. So it's, you go in and talk about Andy Clapper's bread or, and talk about Jane Jakes at Lovely
Andy's
Valley.
Here today, isn't
he?
He is. He's
got a pop-up.
Had a line-up all day,
Where's my cannoli?
I reckon he's probably sold out by now. The line been there all morning, so...
Come on, Andy.
The best cannoli in the world.
He's been, I have noticed, he dropped Enzo off, but he has dropped some more product and then he's disappeared again, so...
Back to the fryers.
He's probably frying up more cannolis as we speak for the 10:30 rush.
Love it. Beautiful. Well, other than that, any other highlights you want to mention for the Fleurieu Food Festival?
I
want to try that celeriac truffle soup.
Out by the fire in an olive grove.
Fantastic.
Should be lovely.
And an olive oil cake. I've only made one of them in my life. I've got to get back to it. You've inspired me.
Yeah, and then I think we can do some cheese. I reckon it might be Liliara, Gerard over at Liliara, micro cheesery down at Victor. He does some cracking goat's cheese, so finish off with something like that. But there's events every week. A little thing like a boning class at Gun Park Beef, I think Monday week sort of thing.
Right.
Wow.
Just something you can go and do on a Monday for me. It'll be pretty cool. And
so what are you boning out?
Beef. half cow. And then
I figured a beef.
and then just showing how to break down an animal and those sort of things. But then there's a pickling class at CWA at Strath, which is, egg tours up at Feather Peck.
Who we're speaking to next, actually, which would be pretty cool. But you you mentioned before a voluntary food board. Did you say that was a part of this?
Yeah, so Fleurieu Food. So Pip Forrest is probably the big one. She's off the board now, Mel Hollick, and I'm co-chair now. But
what's involved in that? Like, how does that sort of...
We sort of probably get together every 6 weeks and try to, just as a promote Fleurieu, whether it's government grants, whether it's tourism, whether it's working with government, whatever we can do. I do a chef's table probably once a quarter, get 40, 50 chefs of the region together and... go out and get a couple of guest suppliers there to talk about what they're doing and hopefully educate chefs and promote sort of relationships in the region.
Yeah, so I guess you're going from the industry out, really.
Yeah, and then I'd love to get, the Pete at Darry's and Wayne at Current Shed, and I'd love to get the next generation and how do we get those involved and sort of not push us old boys out the region, but make sure there's the
fresh blood coming through.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mooney girls just walked past. They're doing a cracker job.
Shout outs there.
Yes.
Lovely.
You mentioned council funding.
It's a bit tight for everyone at the moment. So this is year 3 of the Fleurieu Food Festival, and I think. Last year we sort of got, I think, 25k in regards to community support and funding, government funding, whereas I think we're about 10 this year. So as a volunteer board and trying to do events and tourism on the Fleurieu, it's a little bit tougher this year. We'll, probably take a fair kick this year, but it's, things we do to hopefully promote that sort of engagement in a quieter time of the year.
You're talking to our local member?
Yes, trying to have mentioned this around, and things are a bit tight and the council's belt at the moment, but hopefully they understand, as a region, what we've got to do to help each other in, not just hospitality, but, to keep everyone afloat and, everyone above board at the moment. So, but when we've got weather like this, hopefully people are out and putting bums on seats in restaurants and or doing events and or doing tours or whatever we can do to promote our region.
Absolutely. I think we've got a cracker weekend set weather-wise anyway, so it should be a good one.
It's gorgeous. Great. Gorgeous. If you come down to Willunga Farmers Market and pass 90 minutes down here with a coffee and a toasty and get your weekly shop and catch up with your mate and have a chat and check in on everyone. It's not a bad way to do life.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I want to take a slower Saturday. Stop doing prep in the morning. Well, thanks, mate. Thanks for taking the time to chat to us.
Thanks,
You're obviously very passionate about the Fleurieu, and you've lived here and worked here for a long time and contributed a lot to it, so thank you for that as well. And we'll do our best in our little medium to try and share the love and get people out there.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, mate.
Thanks very much
Todd.
for having us.
Cheers.
Tales from the Vale.
Welcome back to Tales from the Vale, a podcast where Lee Gilligan and Tony Mitchell talk to movers and shakers and people that live and work in McLaren Vale on the Fleurieu Peninsula.
I like Catriona. I said, what's your role in the company? And she said, I'm the chief marketing chick.
Chief marketing chick, and she's right behind you, and she's got pallets of eggs.
Wow.
I thought I'd better have a bit of show and tell.
Pop those on. The crowd's going wild.
Welcome to Katrina Byrne. Is that right, Katrina? Not
You
Catriona?
did well. You did very well.
Katrina?
Yeah,
Katrina.
I answer to most things, but yeah. I get Catriona, Katrina, Christina, Caterina. Hey,
Cat.
Cat.
Do you like cat or not?
Not many people call me Cat, but I don't mind it.
Okay, I'll just go for Katrina.
Yeah.
Go for Katrina.
We'll call you Katrina. The chief marketing chick. I love that.
Chief marketing chick.
Chief marketing. Yeah,
Chick.
there's not much to be chief of, but you gotta make it work for you.
Of Feather and Peck.
Yeah.
Take us through it.
Okay, from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right.
Was it the
wow.
chicken?
How long have we
No,
got
is it the
here?
chicken or the egg?
Go back 20.
Yeah, what came first, chicken or egg?
Yeah,
So
God.
2016. John, my husband, was really inspired by the work of Joel Sullerton on.
I know of Joel.
No, yeah,
Yes.
regenerative farming.
Who's Joel?
A very famous American farmer. He turned out he had the most productive farm in America.
Egg farm? or just farming?
No, farming.
Farming.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna write that down.
He
What's
did
Joel's level?
amazing stuff with chickens,
Yep.
eggs,
Pigs.
Cool.
just incredible. I think it was a 500-acre farm.
Yeah,
he
he's
started.
very much about small farms being profitable as well, and multi-species
Yes.
and composting. Except he says compost. You got
Compost.
compost. You gotta
Compost.
Yeah, he's was deemed quite a radical in his time, I think.
was.
But now it's a little more.
So there's a
well-known.
lightning bolt of inspiration struck.
Yeah, because we have 200 acres just up on Range Road West, and we wanted to look how we could get the most out of our land, but also regeneratively. Oh, I can't get my teeth around that. Regeneratively farm. So we had cattle, and we started with some vans of hens. We had another farmer at Yundi. So in 2016 we started, and now we've got 7 farms grow for Feather and Peck.
All in this region.
Or nearly all in this region. Meningie, if we want to stretch
Okay.
that way, and then Springton in the over in the hills. So
But
yeah,
all following your principles.
all following the pasture-raised egg and hens principle. So the main thing about pasture-raised is that they live in mobile vans out in the paddocks, and they move every week.
Yep.
So they're on new pasture every week. And anyone who's had chooks, if you don't move chooks, they just decimate.
Dig it up, yeah.
Absolutely decimate.
So these are those little chicken houses on wheels that you sort of see.
Yeah, quite big. Yeah, big trailers. Yeah,
They
like
can
that.
be big and little. Yeah.
Yeah, they can be big and
Can I
little.
have a look at that?
Yeah, you can.
What are you passing me? You're passing
Yeah,
me.
I'm
a lovely,
that, so
really
that is so.
dense. Feels
at
like a dense.
Yeah, that's nearly a kilo
dense
of eggs
dozen.
there. Dense
Wow.
dozen. Hey, that's another name we could use for it. We've got the dense dozens. We've got the fat 20s. So these are too fat for normal trays. And
12 king eggs.
12 king eggs.
Less
So
than 75 hens per hectare, it says here.
low density.
That is amazingly low.
Yeah.
I see some in supermarkets where they say, we've got 1,500. Or
Yeah, so
5,000.
1,500 is the recommended free range set, but in Australia,
Per hectare.
per hectare, you can have up to 10,000 hens
Yeah,
per hectare
yeah.
and still be called free
Free
range.
range.
So free range is really unhelpful for consumers. So pasture raised tells consumers the hens are moved, they're on new pasture every week or regularly.
Okay,
And
so that's a
low
bit of a learning
density.
curve. So if I'm in the
Yeah.
supermarket, I'm avoiding free range, and if I can, I'm going for pasture.
Yeah, there's some free range that is sort of 1,500, and that's lower density.
It's got nothing on 75.
But just so you get an idea, so 75 hens per hectare is like 150 hens on Adelaide Oval. That's how much room.
Right, they've got.
That is
They've
a
got-
great visual.
Yeah. It's good. Good for
see
footy
that.
season too,
I was
isn't
thinking
it?
about a test weekend.
Who's kicking the goals?
That's right.
Imagine what that would do for the test wicket pitch.
Yeah, that could be mucky. Let's not do
So-
that.
I love that.
I mean,
150 hens an hour.
pasture raised.
Yeah.
What supplement feeding do you give them?
Yeah, so that we use local grain from down the Fleurieu feedstock, and we have it's non-GMO, non-soy. So what you find and hens will eat about 70% grain, 30% pasture bugs. Whatever's
Yes,
whatever in the soil, they'll eat. They really will eat everything, and the important thing there is that cheaper eggs or higher density will use a lot of soy because it's a cheap protein and protein's what gets hens laying. And you can, if you crack cheaper eggs into a bowl, like 100 eggs or whatever, you can almost smell the soy. So
Wow.
it's quite a different, And the other thing is that soy is usually imported, and it's soy meal and it's GMO modified. So so there's a lot of nasty things that go into that grain. So we use local grain, non-GMO, non-soy.
I've got to get my hands on these and make pub. We do like pasta Sundays at the restaurant. And tomorrow night, Luke is making with salsiccia and pistachio and stracciatella, but we're doing fresh pasta, like pasta di tartare.
Yeah.
I'm getting my hands on these eggs to try that because
There you go.
we use almost 100 because there's so many stuff.
And these fat eggs.
How good is that?
This is what you need.
Because I've been told, is this a myth
Tony?
that the smaller the egg, the maybe like better the flavour? Or is that like, can it lose?
I don't think it
concentration?
loses flavour, but it
Look at them. How good's that?
And 'cause
What a
the
spotty
range-
egg you went for.
That's a beautiful
So
egg,
these
isn't
are
it?
That's
our
ready for Easter, that one. Okay.
These are so they're a bit rough shelled, and we only sell these through at the market because they're not. Sometimes, like a lighter shell egg is often a thinner shell.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Because most of our eggs are brown. So, but people love these at the market. They select their own, but we sell them in trays of factory. But they're great for pasta.
So you can select your own eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. So they come and select their own eggs and pick their favourite looking ones.
What kind of chickens do you have? What breed?
Highline, HY-line. And they're specially bred for commercial. They're just a really robust hen. They'll lay around 300 eggs a year.
Can I pull back a bit? So you got like the flecky eggs. I think they're quite pretty.
Yeah.
So then this one here, which is a supermarket ready or market shop ready. Yeah. Is that because people will open there and check the eggs?
Yeah, people open and check the eggs.
Are you an egg checker?
Because I've bought eggs before, and you open, and there's one or two broken.
Yeah. And look, that's goes with the trade, doesn't it? Sometimes they're sticky, or they've just been hit on the side or something. So it's a good idea to check your eggs. But there's nothing wrong. That's just a rough-shelled egg, we call them.
It's fantastic.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And so the farmers markets gives us a great opportunity to sell those.
What's the ratio of non-perfect eggs?
Oh.
Like we're not talking like banana farming here, are we? Where there's tons of...
No. So, that's a really tough one. But it'd be... Well, John will kill me.
If there's 150 chickens on Adelaide Oval laying eggs, how many of those eggs?
I reckon rough eggs would be 3, and it can be seasonal, so and it also can depend on the age of the chook. So the older they get, the less shell quality, because they just don't process it like they normally do. So you've got to, and then you might have a really dry summer, and they just don't have the green grass and the protein and that.
Well, that makes all sense. It's just like quality of milk and stuff like that.
So it does expand. But, I mean, it'd be less, it'd be 3%, 4% of our eggs.
Other than the markets, what means do you have to use those eggs?
We have some people who use them for, pasta makers or whatever.
So it can go to, that's what I was going to say, it goes to commercial kitchens or it can go to...
And one of the things we really want to do is pursue liquid egg, because liquid egg is a big market, but there's no quality premium liquid egg. A lot of it is caged egg. Right. And then, you can get it in bladders. Liquid egg is pasteurised, it's pasteurised. Right. So it'll last. It has a shelf life of 6 months in a bladder. Yeah. So there's an opportunity.
They heat that up to a temperature very slowly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's... you can do it at home. You can do it to about 59 degrees for 5 minutes. We'll pasteurise your eggs so that it'll get rid of any salmonella. So for raw dishes like mayonnaise and whatever, you can egg safety. Are you going to do that,
Lee, when you get home?
Pasteurise my eggs?
Yeah, start pasteurising your eggs.
I've never bothered. And I've never been
in all
sick.
your time you've never been sick. And it's, there's a whole lot of... for aged care and whatever, where food safety is absolutely paramount. Yeah. Eggs are pretty safe, and you do get... they're fresh and whatever. But the salmonella is always around in free range or pasture-raised.
We've really gone into deep dive into the egg itself.
Yeah.
But let's go back to Feather Peck.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got this beautiful big farm, and we've been inspired by Joel over in America, in the United States. And
he came over here, and John spent a week over near Ballarat, Kyneton, and it was freezing. Yeah. He wore all his clothes all week. But anyway, so that's what we were inspired by. So we introduced hens onto our farm, and there was also another farm at Yundi. They're not doing it anymore. And now we have 7 farms. So we collect farmers. That's how we grow as a business. New farms come on, and they set themselves up with vans and hens, and they make it part of their farming mix. So most of our farms...
When you say farming mix, are they doing other things on that property?
Cattle, sheep, flowers...
Yes. How interesting.
Yeah.
And so, do they become badged a Feather Peck farm?
They are our growers. So we treat it's farmer partners. We call them. That's how we refer. And I think the beauty of it is farming can be quite a lonely thing sometimes. You feel like you're the only one struggling. So at least we have a group of farmers and we share knowledge. So even next week we've got our farmers all coming together. We've got a nutritionist specialist who's over for a conference. So she's coming with a specialist poultry vet. who's coming to just spend a couple of hours with all our farmers. Because you see that, we have a WhatsApp group and go, anyone seen anything like this? Or
I love to see the memes floating around on that jerk group. Just all chicken related.
The best one was Ash. They've got a farm, Lentilda Farm at Ashbourne, and there was a chook out, and she just picked it up. She was in her Polaris, and she picked it up and put it on a lap, and the chook laid an egg in her lap. She was bringing it back. And the other interesting thing about, I guess, pasture raised is you need Maremma. We use Maremma dogs
as security.
So Ollie is our.
See one of them there, yeah.
He's our poster boy. He's now 11. He was 5 when that photo was taken, but he's 11. He lives on our veranda
so these
now.
Are
Protectors. We've never lost any hens to foxes. Or eagles, that's the other thing. Yeah, not with Maremmas around. Yeah, so they really keep them at bay.
They're good pets?
No, they bark. They're trained to bark. Their instinct is to bark, and they need something to protect. So if they don't have an animal
my mum
to
would
protect...
like that then.
Yeah, you just want a lot of space around you. Yeah, if you get a Maremma.
Sure.
Yeah, and something for
Where's the
them to do.
Maremma from?
Italy. It's an Italian sheepdog. Yeah, it's an Italian sheepdog. There's a few movies. There's Oddball, who protected the penguins.
I reckon these are the ones from Abruzzo. I'm not kidding you. I reckon they are. Because there's a really big dog that looks like this that my uncle's got. My family's from the Abruzzo region, mountain region.
Yeah.
And they protect the sheep.
Yes.
They're
a sheepdog. Maremma sheepdog.
They protect the sheep up there in the mountains.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a beautiful movie
It was
called
Balla, the dog. It's called
Balla. And there's another French movie called Sebastian, same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I talk a lot about dogs because they're more than eggs half the time.
Well, they're obviously a huge part of the operation.
Yeah, and we have a dog on our delivery van because it is the distinct. People go, "Why you got a dog?" And I'm going, "Because they look after the chooks because they're out in the open
so
and they're protected."
How do you fence your chooks when you've got movable vans?
Portable electric fencing.
Right.
Yeah. Then when your Maremmas get very good at what they do, we actually had ours in an open paddock and still didn't lose any. So, but you've got to sort of chicken wire your outer fences. But mostly we have electrified, like we use solar electric portable fencing, and that's just a double protection. Okay. Really, yeah.
And how do you go about collecting your eggs from your farmers? And do you centrally process them?
Yes, we
Whereabouts?
do. So we're at Willunga, just near the Waldorf School. There's a bit of an industrial hub. So we've got we call it Egg Central. Egg Central is at Willunga. And the eggs are collected Sunday and Mondays from the farms. And then we grade Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have a grading team, a fantastic grading team.
Is that done by site?
So, is it site or you've got a...
Oh, we've got a machine. We've got an egg grading machine, that sort of...
How do you get a job as an egg grader?
Yeah, you just come and talk to us.
Yeah.
Could be a high school program.
Yeah.
You started at year 11.
Yeah. But, it's fast work. Like, once that grader starts, I think it's 3 minutes. So we do... Oh, no, I can't remember the numbers. I'm not... I should have got that number. No, I can be. I'm a bit dyslexic with numbers. I get them back to front, so I could tell you something and be completely wrong. But it's something like... it'd be something like 10,000 eggs an hour.
Wow. That's huge.
It's got to be pretty quick.
It's a lot of chickens.
Yeah. And once it starts...
It's a lot of Adelaide ovals.
That's a lot of Adelaide.
Does it ever get like that Lucille Ball show where she's doing the chocolates?
Yeah, it can. It can get
For
pretty
those younger listeners, Lucille Ball was a TV comedian actress for
very funny.
Yeah, black and white.
Have you seen that show?
I have. My nana used to watch it when I was a kid.
That one where she was
the chocolates went everywhere.
And
I have to YouTube that one.
And she'd miss one, and so she'd eat it.
Yeah.
And it just got. In the end, she's eating.
Maybe we could superimpose eggs on that.
We don't eat the raw egg.
No.
But eggs do. Yes, every now and then we have.
Well, a lot of people do.
Explosions.
And what do you do with eggs if you've got damaged eggs and stuff?
Yeah, so we do have a waste egg, and that's why we want to pursue the liquid egg, because then we can use all our waste egg. So we have a couple of pet food providers that use some of our egg, and then whatever we can't use, we compost. Okay. But we would love to use broken eggs, and sometimes eggs are too dirty they just don't clean up so well, so they go into waste. And also on farm, even eggs laid on the ground, we can't use it because shells are so porous that it'll absorb whatever. So we don't use it. You can't use it from a food safety perspective. But if it was pasteurised, you could.
With the pet food stuff, can you literally take those eggs that are on the ground or something and just grind them all up with a shell and everything like that?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they use the shell and everything.
Because like protein feathers, and everything in there,
feathers,
right?
Yeah, they use protein and stuff in that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And what happens to your old...
Our hens? So we have our hens are on our farms till they're 18 months. And then what happens with that is their shells get too fragile for a commercial grader.
Sure.
But we've just turned over 3,500 hens. Every single one was sold either to a fodder store or to locals for backyard hens.
Right.
So they've all gone rehomed, basically. Right. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? As a restaurant owner,
yes.
How do I get my hands on bulk of your eggs? Is it a rep or does it go through a distributor? Or like
you just give us a call.
Just contact Feather and Peck.
Talk to the head marketing chick.
Yeah,
because we go through a bit. This would be great. I love this. I love this idea of this allied oval eggs.
Yeah. Well, they're awesome in Perth. We've got a few other reputable restaurants like Odgie.
I would imagine. Oggie's beautiful.
Mimi's used our eggs for 7 years.
And in their pasta, no doubt.
Yeah, in their pasta.
Great
all
pasta.
in their pasta.
It all comes down to the eggs.
It does.
That's
and
got,
down
really,
the rabbit hole use our eggs. So there's a few that are around.
Oh, we'll have to
so
get Pete's on the list. Let's do it. We don't use eggs in our dough, but we use a lot of eggs for our arancini and battering and stuff like that.
Yeah. And in pasta.
Uncle Peter's breakfast and staff breakfast.
Well, Soul Food, who are here, they do a custard, like a cake with custard, and someone said, "Oh, what colouring are you putting in?" And I said, "That's just the egg. That's just our eggs."
Nice.
So,
and other than obviously for industry, but for consumers that might be listening and they want to look out for a Feather and Peck, where can we find it?
So most supermarkets, Drake's.
All good supermarkets.
All good supermarkets. We are in some Woolies, 10 Woolies. Good fruit and veg stores. So Adelaide Fresh, close here. Yep. Locally here at Willunga General Store, the Ampol. So they're around a lot. On our website, we have
that
a full
service
list
station's getting a bit of a rep today. It's got kegs, milks and kegs. Feather and Peck eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, on the run, better look out.
I know. We are in On the Run. Our half dozens are in On the Run.
Well, they might look out then, but I'm just saying. That's pretty good for
Ampol do
for a service
full range.
station.
Oh yeah, they're good, and the general store's awesome. So we're covered. We've got it covered.
What
in
a good
Willunga.
egg!
Yeah, it's a good egg, and that is our little slogan is eggs doing good. So because we like to say, well, it's more than the egg; it's what it's doing on the farm, and it's
you are in the marketing,
right?
Yeah, that's good. I'd like to do something with you. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's just there's so many puns.
There's terrible puns.
I was going to think of the egg grader. It's like it's not degrading.
Please do not start.
Yes.
No, it's extraordinary. Extraordinary how
he has
many
the worst puns.
It really cracks me up.
Yeah, that too. That's how we start our shifts. Let's get cracking.
Oh my God, let's get cracking.
I know.
Oh, it's just so...
I know, it's terrible.
It sounds like the perfect industry for someone like me.
Yeah, it is. I know, there's plenty that come from.
Any new dads out there, get into the egg industry.
That's
plenty
right.
dad jokes.
Yeah.
You can rinse it out.
No, you can. It's
How
endless.
Good.
Yeah.
What a great way to end the... well, not end. I am rapping, but to end up the Fleurieu Food. Are you doing anything...
Yes, we've got... we should do that. We've got a farm tour.
The Triple F.
We've got a farm tour at Ashley Park, which is the farm at Sellex Hill.
Cool.
Or South Road
farm
there.
Tour.
So that's
people
tomorrow, Sunday. I don't know when people are listening, so that might be gone by the time. So Sunday, and then at the end of August.
I'll have to get it up. I'll have to get Luke, my friend, Luke Million, of Triple J Music fame, to get this up very quickly. So I've got to edit all the local... hoo-ha out.
That's right. All the ramblings.
Yeah, and get it up.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, so there's 2 farm tours, so they get to have a look. And then we get an eggy afternoon.
Are you going to the Fiano and Fondue? Or?
I'd love to go to everything, but we're a bit busy.
I'm going to go 16th and 25th of August down Langon Creek.
I know. Keep looking. I know.
He's never had a fondue. Oh, my God.
Never had a fondue.
No. Well, I've had melted cheese. We discussed this before.
Have you? We've done the fondue.
I've never sat down and had like a skewer. And I know Todd was mentioned with COVID, but let's get this clear about fondue. You have a metal skewer. From what I know, you have a metal skewer.
Yeah.
Or a wooden skewer. You skewer the food, bread. Or just bread.
Or vegetables.
Yeah.
And you dip it in the...
You dunk in the cheese.
Cheese or chocolate.
Yeah.
And then you eat that without touching the skewer with your mouth, surely.
Well, I think you could swap
Because then you can
skewers.
dip again. Or you just swap skewers.
Oh, yeah.
Skewer swaps.
Dirty
You can put it on your plate.
You have to get a little sanitised, like boiled water that
It's
you
a
can just dip it
process.
in. And
Yeah, I
grab it.
don't think in the 70s fondue was that complicated, but you know.
No.
Well,
and
it's-
certainly the health implications.
How can we do an egg fondue?
Scrambled egg.
One of my greatest joys in life, from being very, very young, is a hard-boiled egg with soldiers.
Perfect.
You know, and if you could just have that on large format, I think you're a winner.
Hard-boiled?
No, soft.
Soft hard-boiled egg.
Yeah, with the soft yolk.
Do you know one of the best things
Dippy.
to have
Yeah, dippy. So
on
good.
a hard-boiled egg is Norma over there, her chipotle salt is awesome with egg.
I love
matching her.
Yeah.
I love anchovies with
Yes,
egg. Oh.
that's salty. Yes, so her chipotle
Fried egg
salt.
and maybe
Salty,
my ponga
umami.
truffle
But
on
that's
top
what
of
I
a fried
say,
egg
like,
would
you
be
know,
good.
cost of living, got eggs, you got dinner, you got everything.
Yeah, sure.
It's good. It's
Good
good
one,
man to use
that's a
it.
frittata there. That's
Absolutely.
use up your dead vegetables and that.
Omelette,
It's sorted.
frittata,
Yep,
yep.
perfect.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Excellent recipes.
Excellent. So eggs doing good.
You crack me up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Catriona.
It's been excellent. Thank you.
Well, I gotta
Want to keep going? Do we want to keep going on this?
Exciting, excellent. Yeah,
That
wonderful.
is getting the full treatment right there. They are going wild out there. Live from the Willunga Farmers
I don't
Market.
think they know what to think.
Thank you.
See you. Thank
You've
you.
just destroyed your business.
Lovely talking with you.
Lovely talking with you too.
That was TFTV live from the WFM for the Triple F, which is the Tales from the Vale podcast, live recording from Willunga's Farmers Market
With Tony Mittelow and
Lee
Lee
Gilligan.
Gilligan.
For the Fleurieu Food Festival. We're going to get this up as soon as possible. Please head to fleurieufoodfestival.com. If you don't know how to spell Fleurieu, Google it or message Lee. He'll tell you. And there's a full
Thanks,
calendar of events that you can get out and get amongst it. Thanks for listening.
FLEURIEU
.com.
.com. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales from the Vale. Be sure to like and follow us, TFTV Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram.